Ladies and gentlemen, it is August 19th, 2013. This is the Squared Circle. We are here the night after SummerSlam 2013, which I've got to say was not one of the greatest SummerSlams I've seen, but it was eventful nonetheless. I'm joined here by Mr. John Zimmerman and our contributor, Aubrey St. John. That's her name. Don't forget it.
Okay. I won't this week, I swear.
Please.
I promise.
We're paying her good money to be here.
More than I make.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll have to have financing look at that. You'll have to get a
I have to
raise.
renegotiate our contract. You know, my 1 year contract is due in September.
I know. Well, mine is too.
Right. Negotiations are coming up.
Mm-hmm. The anniversary is coming up. We should just plan ourselves a nice little celebration
Oh yeah.
in our honor.
Yes.
Definitely.
Appletinis all around.
That's it, right? So, what did everybody think of SummerSlam? I know what I thought of it, but
I mean, you want to just go over match by match or just overall?
overall, then we'll just, we have to give the viewers their information. We'll just give
Yeah.
them match by match.
I'll say overall, I'd give it like a 6.5 out of 10. The high points were really high, and then there were some boring parts. Dolph Ziggler's match was relatively short. Big E Langston. I would have liked to seen a little more come out of that, because I do think the two have some talent in the ring, and we really haven't seen them go at it too much. And Natalia versus what was it, Brie, Bella. Was it necessary? No, it was just a hype for the Total Divas show, which was on at the same time, mind you. It was a rare circumstance where WWE was competing against themselves on the air.
I can't figure out why they would do that.
I thought they would at least preempt the Total Divas show or run it before or after, because I mean your wrestling audience is hopefully watching your pay-per-view, but we're in the day of the DVR.
Right, exactly. The day of the DVR, when you can just basically watch whatever you want.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't watch things that you're supposed to. But anyway, if I was to grade it, grade-wise, A through F, I'd probably have to give it a C. It wasn't a total flop. The main matches that they hyped up the most lived up to their expectations,
Yeah.
I've got to say.
Yeah.
Everything else definitely needed a lot more work.
I do think that the ratings tonight for Raw are going to be spectacular because of the Randy Orton and Triple H heel turn.
Yes, we'll start over there because that's the most important. Was what happened with the Daniel Bryan and John Cena match. Daniel Bryan ended up defeating John Cena for the WWE title, but then this didn't come as unexpected, to anybody. The appearance of Randy Orton and wanting to cash in his briefcase. Now keep in mind, Triple H was the guest referee for the Bryan Cena match, and all of a sudden, you could sort of, somebody pointed it out to me today, you can almost tell that, Triple H and Daniel Bryan were standing in the ring together for quite a bit of time. And so that sometimes gives an indication as to what's going to happen next.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And what happened next was Triple H giving Daniel Bryan a pedigree, and then Orton comes in and cashes the briefcase, and Triple H is the guest referee, so...
Yeah, it looks like Evolution is back together.
That's what it's sort of looking like a little bit.
Yeah. Because then you had Cody Rhodes go over.
Right.
Went over Damian Sandow. And more than likely at Night of Champions, they'll fight for that briefcase. So I was almost on track saying that Cody Rhodes would end up with the briefcase somehow and be able to cash it in. So we'll have like either the Money in the Bank style match with the briefcase hanging over the ring, or the briefcase on a pole match, or one of those kind of stips.
Right. In any event, Cody Rhodes is going to get that briefcase.
I think so. I said it last week, and I'll stick with it.
Yeah, he sort of deserves it a little more, I think.
Yeah. And I predicted Daniel Bryan wouldn't have that belt for more than 6 weeks, and he barely had it for 6 minutes. So I went over with that one, too.
I think it was about 60 seconds, maybe.
Yeah,
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
45 seconds.
It was pretty, It wasn't quite the 17 seconds that last...
18 seconds.
18 seconds, I'm sorry.
He lost his world title to Sheamus in about 18 seconds at WrestleMania.
Right. But,
In the beginning match.
Ironically enough, some more shenanigans.
Yep, so we had that, and then Brock Lesnar versus CM Punk.
Yeah.
That, I gotta say, it lived up to its expectations. I was expecting Lesnar to win, which he did.
Yeah. CM Punk sold his butt off for Lesnar, as only CM Punk could. You know, he took a beating and made it look like he was taking a beating. And as we said, both of us, I believe, predicted that Lesnar had to go over at this point. You know, he's got to be the beast. You know, and Punk can always rebound from it. And I thought it was decent. You know, I got more out of it than I expected out of Brock Lesnar because I have very little expectation. So I think it surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar, he's more tough. He doesn't really do interviews too good. That's why he usually has Paul Heyman speaking for him.
Yeah, and Heyman helped him out in the match a little bit. You know, you're always going to have that element, which I like having Heyman in there. And we've said many a time, we need more managers, for the WWE, especially for the guys that can't talk. The days of Lou Albano and Freddie Blassie and, Bobby the Brain, Mr. Fuji coming out, you always had them involved in the matches somehow.
Yeah, you could bring that back again.
Yeah. So, you had Zeb Coulter until that problem with Jack Swagger came about. Zeb Coulter's still hanging around, but, they've kind of toned him down a little bit.
Yeah, but he's got... I don't understand about that is now he's managing Antonio Cesaro, so.
Yeah, well, his gimmick is that he's a real American because he came in and did it the right way.
Right.
So
therefore he's a real Swiss American.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he'll just end up doing that. He'll get all these European talents that, these are the people that should be here.
Right.
But you could throw a couple of other managers. I think Del Rio's former manager, ring announcer Ricardo Rodriguez.
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
He'd be pretty interesting too.
Yeah, and especially if he was managing somebody that went up against Del Rio. Because I don't see him getting into the ring. But if he came out and said, "This is my guy now. You had your, I worked for you and you treated me poorly. Now this is my guy and he's gonna, run all over you."
Right.
It's a good angle. See, we wrote another show for you, Vince. Jeez.
Definitely.
Send the check.
But other matches on there. This was on the internet only, I believe. Dean Ambrose and Rob Van Dam.
Yeah. Oh, great match. Rob Van Dam's going to put on a hell of a match no matter who he faces. And Ambrose is really coming into his own as a performer. And it was a travesty to not have him on the main card.
I can't understand why they would give Rob Van Dam this big contract and not have him on the actual card, just on the internet.
Yeah. I know they're trying to draw people to their website and this new app and all that, and it's really the focus now. But it was such a great match that it should have been on the main card. But it'll come out on the DVD and it'll be part of it.
It'll be on the DVD, but it wasn't on. And they did the same thing with WrestleMania too. They put a quality match on the internet,
right,
and not on the actual card.
Right. Well, UFC is good for that trend because they do the prelims on either Fox, or now they're doing it on Fox Sports 1, and they kind of tease you with the preliminary matches, and in between the matches they'll show you what's going to happen at the pay-per-view. Which would follow the prelims. So, it's a good strategy. if you're going to try to hype, the buys. But I don't know. I think that was too good of a match to be on internet only.
Rob Van Dam's too good a performer, though.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
What about the Inferno match? Bray Wyatt over Kane. Ring of Fire match.
Right.
It's basically the same thing, but they're just calling it. They just changed the name of the Inferno match to the Ring of Fire match.
Yeah, without a doubt.
You fall into a burning ring of fire like Johnny Cash. Like great Johnny Cash always said.
Yeah.
This I cannot figure out. The rumor is that people have been telling me Kane is going to be taking some time off for filming a new movie.
See No Evil too.
See No Evil too.
Right.
So if he's going to be doing that, and he's not going to have enough time to be on set in a wrestling ring at the same time
Yeah.
as on a movie set. So maybe that's sort of why the Wyatt family took Kane away.
Yeah.
And where did they take him?
Well, that remains to be seen. They took him to the movie set, presumably.
Maybe they gave him a ride to the movie set.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and Cena obviously lost. He's due to go out to have surgery on his elbow, something like that. Is it his elbow or his wrist?
I'm not sure.
Cena's due to go have surgery, which explains
His loss.
his loss, and he's going to be gone for a little while. And so, I think it all worked out story-wise. They wrote it in and did a great job of it. Like you said, getting Kane out of the picture, and he's going to go and make his movie. And Cena's going to go rehab, go get the
So
surgery.
what's next for Bray Wyatt?
And
then?
rehab.
Who's he going to set his sights on next?
It's possible that the Wyatt family, they have the tag team there, so they're going to more than likely butt heads with the Shield.
At some point.
Yeah, and we'll see who Bray Wyatt goes after next.
There's a lot of possibilities out there.
Yeah, without a doubt.
They want to make a Mark Henry.
Well, Mark Henry, is he the heel now, though? So you're going to have two heels fight? I mean, Bray Wyatt's obviously the heel.
Mark Henry's.
Mark Henry versus Cena Mark Henry was playing the heel.
Mark
Yeah, he
Henry was
was.
playing the heel, but now that he's been attacked by the Shield, I guess this makes him a face.
I don't know.
Which I can't.
Bray Wyatt, Big Show, that's a possibility,
That's
too.
a possibility.
'Cause Big Show's coming back. So,
They want to pick a big target,
yeah.
whoever it is, and they don't. With Sheamus, I guess, is injured, so
Yeah, he's going to be out, I believe,
gonna
for the
be
rest
out
of the year.
quite a long time.
Yeah.
So that kind of leaves him out as a target. You can beat up the Kofi Kingstons and R-Truth all you want, but it's not really.
Yeah. If you're running Ryback as a face.
If you run Ryback as a face, they could beat up Ryback, but they're not running Ryback as a face now, so
Yeah.
it just gets a little bit boring.
We'll have to tune in and
We'll have to
find
tune
out what
into Raw
happens.
tonight, and we'll have to find out
Yeah.
what the plan of the Wyatt family is. What did you think of Del Rio's match against Christian?
We said that we were hoping that it would be Christian's, go home, run.
Yeah, see, I was sort of, they didn't make too big a deal out of that, the world title match.
Yeah.
If they had made it as big a deal as the other two big matches, they could have actually had Christian win the belt.
Yeah.
So they kind of just downplayed it.
Yeah, I was that was the match I was on the fence about because I thought that maybe they would give it to Christian as a thank you for his long years of service and let him go out and retire after, because he's due. His character is really stale, and he's almost at the end of his career. He's closer to the end of his career than the beginning, if anything. So I thought they would give him a little bit of a run as a thank you and a little send off out on the top, but apparently that wasn't the way it went.
That's not the way it went, unless that's not the end of the feud.
It should be. I think after that match, what else are they going to do unless Christian's going to go crazy bump and do the ladder matches and some of the crazy stuff that he did in his younger
He
days.
could if he wanted to, but you know, he's getting a little old for that too.
Yeah. And you know what? I mean, Del Rio is new to the WWE, but he's not that young of a guy either.
No,
He was on the circuit down south for a long time.
he was Mexican luchador
Yeah.
for years and years
Yeah.
before coming over here.
So it ought to be interesting what they're going to do with Del Rio.
And Sandow and Rhodes. I'm not really surprised about Sandow, but you know, I got to see what's going to happen next. Like, you know, you said that there's another pay-per-view coming up, Night of Champions. And they can
Yeah,
wrestle for
I'll predict Night of Champions.
Mm-hmm.
They fight over the briefcase because obviously it's champions. Neither one of them are champions, so that's the closest thing either one
Right.
of them have to fight over. You know, so I mean, everybody else is going to be fighting for a belt, and these two guys can fight at least for the chance for the belt. I think it's a good idea. It's been done before, so you know.
Definitely.
It'll be interesting. But overall, SummerSlam, it was fun. Yeah, I don't think it was a waste of money.
This is a couple of the matches, like you said, the Dolph Ziggler and
Yeah, I mean it was
that
short.
was too short.
Yeah, it was just short. It was almost like a bathroom break.
And the girls fighting over over basically what's going on that reality show there, the
Right.
Total Divas.
Yeah. That was just a match to plug that show.
Which was already on anyway.
Right. I mean, it is what it is. At least Natalia got in the ring on a pay-per-view. God, when's the last time that happened?
Seriously.
She finally got a payday.
So Raw tonight, we're going to have a reaction, more importantly, about Randy Orton cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase. How are they going to start it out? Are they going to have Triple H and Orton come out right at the beginning and just explain themselves, or is it going to take a little while? Because I think that's the number one question on everybody's mind is why Triple H did that to Daniel Bryan.
Right. They may tease that at the beginning of the show, and they may tease Paul Heyman, CM Punk, because anytime CM Punk's got the mic, the ratings go up. Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody just loves hearing him talk.
Yeah. So they can go either way.
I think Punk has a good way of mixing words. And I think Paul Heyman, whenever he gets in the mic, he the way he says what he's
without a
going to
doubt.
say.
Yeah, without a doubt, he's classic.
It always is. It always has been. But we'll have to tune in. We'll see what's going on tonight. We get some independent news, though, Aubrey.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll switch gears for a little bit.
We'll
And
give you a chance to speak. We've been doing all the talking.
right.
Well, as you guys know, this weekend was NEFW here in Waterbury, Connecticut, and definitely I went to it. It was definitely a good show. And what I like about NEFW is that they always have big names attached to their show.
Mm-hmm.
But along with it, they also have the best of the best in the indie scene. So you lure people in by bringing in a big name, but then you show them the best of the indie scene.
Right.
Which is what I like,
Yeah, I mean, it gives those guys, an audience.
And yeah, if they don't have, give you new fans and more exposure, and you never know what can happen, who you might see. This Saturday was Tony Atlas, Matt Striker, the Big O, which just had a TNA tryout match recently. Yeah,
The
got shot.
gun check.
Yeah. It had Just Incredible. He was there to stir up some trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely want to see what they're going to do with that. If they're going to continue it or if it was just a one-time thing. But
I think Just Incredible is well invested into the NEFW. I know he's working with their training facility, if I'm not mistaken.
he was working with our
RWE.
RWE.
Oh, okay, I'm mistaken. See, that's why we have you.
Yeah, confused me for a second. Like what? Yeah, he's the head trainer for RWE.
Okay. So I mean, he's in the area anyway.
Yes.
And he's committed to being in Connecticut for
Yeah.
at least the short term.
Definitely. He actually attacked him. He came out after Shane Marble and Jeremy Leary finished their match, and he attacked Shane Marble. So I definitely want to see what's behind that, and what's he gonna do with that.
So they set up their storyline for their next event.
I think so.
Oh, that's
I mean, I
awesome.
would like to see. I still don't know what the card is because that was only on Saturday. So definitely. But they also had AR Fox, AJ Cruz, Chris Battle making his debut at
Right.
NEFW.
Yep.
That was big. Nocturne. Dave Cole actually made Dave Cole was just there, just as a audience at a, you know, he wasn't in that night or whatever, but he was there in the audience, and he made a big ruckus, a big mess. So, you know, he spoke his mind. So let's see what he has, because Dave Cole has not fought in Connecticut in a while,
Okay.
and but he let everybody know that he's still
He was
around.
out there. Wow.
Yeah,
So a little bit of a challenge there.
I think so.
Any chance of the NAFW coming back to Waterbury at all?
As of right now, I don't know, but the next show is actually going to be in Shakopee, Massachusetts. Which
Back
is,
up at the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
Jay's favorite place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best place he's never been.
The last time I tried going there, my tires got slashed in those lousy.
Well, yeah, lousy aces and eights. Well, we've taken care of them, so I think this time you might actually make it.
We're going
I
to
don't
have
think-
Shelly Martinez on their next show.
Shelly Martinez. Why does that name sound familiar?
She was Ariel in WWE's
Oh, okay.
ECW.
Ariel, all right, wow.
Yeah.
That's right.
There's a blast from
The
past.
Vampire
Wow.
Vixen.
Yeah, yeah.
I love her, yeah. So.
Excellent, excellent.
And then, of course, we're going to have Wrestle Jam on Saturday, September 7th in Meriden, Connecticut.
Wrestle
ready for that?
Jam. I remember Wrestle Jam.
This is Michael Banks' promotion. He's gonna have D.H. Smith, which was scheduled to fight Brian Fury, but Brian Fury got injured.
So,
So-
card subject to change.
Yes. They're actually gonna put up D.H. Smith against Gran Acuna.
Wow.
So I definitely want to see that.
Yeah, yeah.
They're gonna have Christina Von Airy, JT Dunn. If you haven't seen JT Dunn wrestle in person, you have to go
Yep.
to a show. But he's everywhere, so
Yeah, he's been
they're
around.
gonna have AR Fox, Hella Wicked, Aaron Epic, Nocturne, Jeremy Leary, the Minutemen, Shikara Luchadors, and one of my favorites in the scene, Bandito Jr. I like
Oh.
him. Have you guys seen him fight?
Yeah, I've seen some clips on YouTube, on the internet. I haven't seen him in person yet. The
Yeah.
guy I have seen in person is AR Fox.
Yeah.
I just love that guy. I've said it many a time, like he's my brother or something. But I love watching him. I love watching his style, man. He's unique. He's just crazy. He's all over the ring, and for being such a tall guy, he's so agile, and he does like those Jeff Hardy swantons. He is a highlight reel unto himself.
Yeah.
So, and then you mentioned D.H. Smith. I don't think D.H. Smith has been in Connecticut since he's gotten out of the WWE.
Yeah.
No.
I haven't seen him at all.
He was in the WWE for, what, a couple of years at least?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
But he's done a lot of stuff recently overseas, so I definitely can't wait to see him in action live.
yeah, he was over in Japan, and he was really making a name for himself over there, and he was one of the top draws in in Japan because he has the American wrestling style.
Yeah.
And Japan work a little bit different, so he was like a highlight to what the Japanese style. So
The Japanese style wrestling hits very hard.
Oh yeah,
It's not
yeah.
like America. They
It's
take
completely
their
different,
wrestling very seriously.
Yeah,
It's
and
like
if,
a religion over there.
yeah,
Oh,
and if you
definitely.
watch any of the highlights, if you watch the Japanese pay-per-views, their audiences will just sit on their hands and really study the match, and they're very unified in their chants and their claps, and they pick their spots. It's not like a constant chatter. They're quiet, and they want to see and study that match. And it's very weird, especially for the American wrestlers that go over there the first time. You know, I mean, you're used to like a whole Civic Center, Coliseum, screaming and shouting and cheering and clapping.
With the
and,
signs up.
oh yeah,
Cena
the
rules,
Japanese
Cena
audience,
sucks.
even for rock concerts, the Japanese audience sit and pay attention and watch, and they're very mindful. You know, and then they pick their moments to make their noise and let themselves be heard. So it's really strange when you watch the pay-per-views. It's almost like watching a TNA show, but the TNA show, the people are just bored.
On the TNA show, they're bored because they've been sitting there all day.
Yeah.
Because it's like their third
Oh,
impact
yeah.
they've taped in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I went, like, we had to go really, really early in the morning. We were just sitting in the line for hours and hours. It's hectic. So yeah, by the time the show is on, you're like, I just want to go home.
Right. Yeah. And now, like we said last week, they do 2 tapings. So by the time they're into the second taping, some people have already left. And
Yeah.
you know, TNA is not smart enough to fill those empty seats. You know, either move people down or get some seat fillers. And you know, the audience has already seen all of these people come out once, and they popped for them already. So then the second taping happens, and Bully Ray comes back out, and they've already popped for him. You know, they don't. I don't know if they need to get somebody out there to coax the audience a little bit, and say, hey, you know, really drill it home that this is another day, this is another taping, and then you know, a brand new.
Yeah, I don't think it would really matter. I think the best thing to do is just to sell the event separately.
Yeah, spill and fill.
Have a matinee, and then you have, you know, if you want to stay for the night, you just buy an extra ticket.
Right.
Or if not, you know, just get a fresh audience in there.
I agree.
Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of those people, because I've spoken to a lot of them, like while waiting in line. A lot of those people they've traveled 2, 3, 4 hours
Right.
just to watch an event, so they don't want to stay there for 2 shows, because by the time they get out of the second show and they have to work the next day,
Right. Right.
like, you know, and I think that's what hurts it. I mean, if they would start the shows earlier, they would definitely get more people staying there and more people watching the show.
Yeah.
But you know.
But they also film on weekdays, so it's kind of tough to do that earlier because then people are still at work. So you would have the opposite effect. You'd have an empty first show.
Right.
But you know what? Like they should make it more easier for the, because they have, it's Disney or what is it, Disney, right? No,
was Universal.
Universal.
They were
It's
all
Universal.
right
Like there are so many people there during the day visiting or like vacation.
Yeah, they
and
moved on to
stuff, like,
Universal now.
They should make it
don't do
more-
Universal anymore. They're
not,
traveling around the country.
I know. They should come. They should come near Bridgeport. What do you think about that?
They're not going to get Harbor Yard because Vince has an exclusive. That's
Yeah.
why when they have come to Connecticut, it's been Oakdale. Or whatever. What's Oakdale called now? Toyota or Comcast? Somebody presents
Waterford?
Oakdale. Yeah, over here.
Yeah.
over here
Yeah,
in
it's always
Waterford.
Down the
changing.
street.
Somebody else is every year. Somebody else is different is presenting.
Name
the
your
Oakdale.
sponsor, Oakdale.
Yeah, right.
It's Oakdale. The Meadows is the Meadows. The Hartford Civic Center is the Civic Center. You know, no matter whose corporate brand name comes before it.
So you got Wrestle Jam and
I wanted to make a note. Bandito Jr. is making his debut at Wrestle Jam, but I've known Bandito Jr. from CCWE, which is having their farewell show
Right.
this Saturday.
I just got my tickets today.
Did?
Yeah.
Did you
yeah,
get yours
up at,
yet?
I did not get mine yet.
Up
you
in our
waiting
friend
for it?
Ken's Cards. Exclusive dealer.
Yes, you can
for,
get them exclusively at Ken's Cards or online on their website.
I'll have to go to their website
What do you think about
later
that? The CCW actually has some really, really good matches lined up. They have huge names such as Kevin Nash, Johnny Gargano, Derek Bateman, Michael Elgin. I'm trying to remember everybody.
Rhino.
Rhino, yeah. They have so many names, plus their normal, regular headliners.
Of course.
And earlier that day, before the wrestling match, at Ken's Cards, you can meet
Kevin Nash
Thank
and
you.
Rhino.
Kevin Nash and Rhino. I was going to say Kevin Smith, but he's the filmmaker.
Yeah, so you could definitely get to meet them, and I don't think I've seen Kevin Nash anywhere in Connecticut for any indie shows.
I think
So
you're right.
you might wanna. This
This
is
is
the
like
event
the-
that you do want to go to. You do not want to miss this meet and greet exclusively with Kevin Nash because he doesn't really come this way. And then watch him live at CCWE.
Yeah. I mean, that's a hell of a card, and they're billing this as the final CTWE after
Yeah,
five,
I'm still like
5 years. Yeah.
After 5 years, and they're just going out. Is there any reason as to why? I mean, all he
You would
says
ha-
is it's time to move on.
You would have to ask Joey Bricko. I mean, in a way, it's good to go out while you're on top, but I feel like it's too soon.
It's way too soon.
Yeah, but you know.
Well, I mean,
With the amount of people he draws in to Bethany there.
Yeah, they always have sold out shows.
oh,
so-
without a doubt, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and you know,
I see people like standing, like standing room only, like.
and you
for
know,
some of the shows.
right? And you know, he's got his stable. You know, he's got Vladimir Joseph. The current champion, I believe, is Lucas Sharp. You
Yeah.
know, so I mean, he's got his regular guys outside of the, you know, the bigger names. You know, or I shouldn't say bigger names, but the more national names that he brings in. And you know, he's always got a real good crowd. They're very into it. You know, and you see like a lot of the same faces, almost like family reunion sometimes.
Yeah,
when you go to them.
Yeah, no, they normally have Brian Fury, AJ Cruz, Lucas Sharp, Sherman, and the other guy, his partner, Jay Busta. You know, like these are guys that you follow, and you know you're gonna see them every single month
Right.
at Bethany. And I was like, this is like the very last show. Like, oh my, like
Sad.
Right.
It's kind,
You know,
yeah,
I mean,
it's kind of sad.
I mean,
There's a guy in Milford at bartends. He looks just like Jay Buster. Yeah,
Probably his doppelganger, gangster, whatever.
doppelganger.
Yeah.
probably
Yeah, probably so.
something like that. Yeah, and I was like, that can't be Jay Buster? He's working over here. I mean, not that it's a bad bar,
Right,
You
right.
know, but
Yeah, that's a really nice bar. I can tell you.
Well, you know, I mean, sometimes outside the ring, you got to do what you got to do.
sometimes, hey, everybody's got to start out somewhere.
Right. I mean, you know, even The Rock's got a day job, right? But we also have PWA coming up in September. They took the summer off, and they're coming back on September 15th to Ansonia. It's actually a Sunday matinee, 2 o'clock show.
It's the day of the pay-per-view too.
Day of...
WWE pay-per-view.
Yeah, but you go see live action. Bull Dread has an open challenge that night. You know Bull Dread very well, right?
Yeah, we've had him on in the ring a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah.
HTA.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in the Connecticut. You know, he's a hardcore icon. He's got an open challenge for a hardcore match. So you know, no matter who steps up to the plate there.
And we got the Tough 8 challenge also.
Yeah, you're gonna have the tournament for the Tough 8, and Pedro Wandones is gonna face Joseph Von Schmidt, the head of the PWA himself.
Wow.
The head of the Von Schmidt Nation, as part of that tournament.
The VSN.
Yep. And you're the house party's gonna take on the Killers of the Community, which are Nocturne and Buzz Buzzsaw, for the tag belts. And they're having a rookie 6-man match. You're gonna see Vin the Chin take on 5 other fellas that are brand new, coming out of the PWA.
Yeah.
My son didn't make that tournament this time, but maybe next time they have a show,
Maybe next time.
Jacob will be ready for it.
He's
He's pre-rookie.
he's still sharpening his skills.
Yeah, he's in single A. He's got to work up to triple A.
Did he learn how to fall yet?
He learned how to fall with his 2.
North Haven Fair too, from September 8th.
Oh yeah, September 8th, North Haven Fair. NEW is going to have a show there. I believe Bull Dread's on that card too. Bull Dread is all over. He took a little hiatus there for a bit, and now he's coming back
strong.
He's
Yeah.
coming back strong. I thought the last I talked to him, he was just thinking about taking a permanent hiatus.
Yeah, I think he had a change of heart, and now he's coming back. I think seeing some of the guys in the ring down at PWA really reinvigorated. And if you read his Facebook posts, you can see that he's been really charged up by some of the people that he's been working with, and he's happy to show the next generation the ropes. But
Yeah.
that's the St. Sebastian Club in Ansonia, Connecticut, September 15th. Of course, we'll be talking about that some more between now and then. But PWA always puts on a great show. You know, Connecticut indie scene, as you can well attest, has been really strong this past year.
Yeah, and we also have in September, RWE had a show. I believe it's the 13th, 15th, something like that. The 13th because
Is it Friday night?
yeah, it's a Friday night. And it's something when they're at Tomas. Nomads.
Nomads.
See, my English is not very good looking, so happens.
Yeah, at RWE, you know, our friends up there put on a great show.
Yeah, they're gonna have Biff Busick, Mike Bennett. Some of these guys, their names are like so hard to like remember or
say, yeah.
pronounce. They're gonna have so many people. Like the card is insane. If you have not seen the card, go check out their Facebook.
Yeah, RW, the Real Warrior Entertainment. We also got a preliminary scoop on Vinny V, bringing back.
The return of Vinny V.
Yeah,
After, it's been how long now? Had to have been at least 10 months.
yeah.
It's been a while.
We're rolling up on a year. Yeah, he announced the other night at the pay-per-view. Actually, last night he announced at the pay-per-view last night that he was bringing back Extremely Talented Wrestling, which he runs, and he's saying that he's holding the name for now, but he's going to be in the corner of a major name talent, and that's coming up in October. So we're going to hunt Vinny V back down, get him back on the show,
I think so.
and have him maybe get an exclusive scoop.
We have to do a New Year. We have to do a 1 year celebration.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we have to, you know, we have to enjoy ourselves. We have to go out and celebrate, or we have to have a celebration here, something like that.
Yeah, and we got to get Nick, our brilliant producer, to put together a highlight reel for us of the last year and some of the great people we've had on. Aubrey, we've had on
Being
quite a
one
few
of them,
times
yeah.
now. Yeah, my son Jacobs hosted the show for me when I wasn't here. We had on Andrew Calandrelli a couple weeks ago from the Ultimate MMA Training Center right up the road here in North Haven on State Street. He's going to be fighting on Saturday, September 7th for Bellator, the second, you know, they're second only to the UFC, and they're catching up to the UFC. He's going to be in Mohegan Sun that night. The doors are at 4 o'clock and the show is at 5 o'clock. And you're going to get almost 5 hours worth of MMA fighting. And the quality that you can see, they're on Spike TV now. And matter of fact, Spike and Bellator are doing a co-op with TNA. And Tito Ortiz, the former UFC champion, who's now working for Bellator, is involved in a storyline.
Now Tito Ortiz, I understand, is the reason why Bully Ray has the TNA championship.
There you go.
Back again.
So now you've got Quentin Rampage Jackson, who's a former UFC fighter, now working for Bellator, and Tito Ortiz, former UFC fighter, now working for Bellator, on the TNA
On
show.
TNA.
Impact.
As part of the TNA roster,
Right.
or whatever you want to say. I mean,
Yeah.
they're putting them through some kind of training, whatever.
Right. So now you've got, you know, those two guys. One of them is in the Main Event Mafia, and one of them is in Aces and Eights. So you got them facing each other on TNA, and then in November they're going to have an actual MMA fight for Bellator.
Right.
So
They're gonna wrestle each other, and then they're gonna have a Bellator match.
have a shoot, essentially a shoot fight in November. So I think the crossover is going to help TNA.
It's gonna help TNA.
Yeah.
You know, it might be an interesting conversation with among people that watch Bellator too. Hey,
Yeah.
what are these guys? They're going over to TNA, and you know, it
Yeah.
might actually benefit both products.
Now, has anybody heard, is the rumor correct that Brooke Hoban was let go from TNA?
I have no idea whatsoever, but Bully Ray is claiming that next week he's going to reveal some kind of truth. Big secret he wants to let out to the whole world.
Right, and he was on the phone with someone named Brooke. But as we know, there's more than one Brooke on TNA. Dun dun dun. See, they don't even need Total Divas. They got to run on their own show.
The Knockouts could have their own kind of Total Divas, reality show. Too.
Total Knockouts.
Total Knockouts.
But while we're on the subject of TNA, this week Dixie Carter came out and she acknowledged Kurt Angle's recent DWI, and he's in rehab in a rehab facility now. But if you watch the show, there was an Appletini finish in 2 of the matches, and ODB took her flask out and took a swig out of the flask and spit it into her opponent's face. So you had 3 matches that involved alcohol in the finish.
Right. I mean, obviously there wasn't alcohol in the flask with ODB, but the insinuation was there.
Right.
Nonetheless.
Right. And here on one hand, we're all supporting you, Kurt, in your road to sobriety, but yet we're going to feature alcohol in 3, not 1, but 3 of our matches tonight. What are you thinking?
So it's not okay for Kurt Angle to drink off the camera, but it's okay to drink on the camera.
Yeah. And spit it at people, I guess. I guess if you don't swallow the alcohol, it's okay. We won't go there. But I wanted to ask you this. The big story in wrestling this week is...
Big story. Yeah, we want to get to this too, and
Yeah.
you're definitely one of the people we'd like to get their opinion on.
And it wasn't even on a wrestling show. It was on TMZ.
It was on TMZ, but believe me, it picked right up amongst all the major networks everywhere talking about Darren Young.
Darren Young.
Yeah.
Tell us about Darren Young.
I was actually still awake when the news came out, and I was actually talking to somebody involved with wrestling, and we were talking, and he says, "Oh my God, like Darren Young came out," and I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like he came out as gay. I think and as I've said on my Facebook, I have almost 5,000 people on my friends list, so I get to see a lot of I get to read a lot of opinions, good, bad, and some whatever. But a lot of workers were saying, "So what? What's the big deal?" And it is kind of a big deal, especially from my own experience, because I've been around the wrestling for a while now, and this has been my life since I was young. The big deal is that a lot of wrestling workers say, "Oh, it's not really a big deal, like who cares?" The thing is that a lot of people are not very accepting, and a lot of workers are like, "Oh, that person's gay. I don't want that person to touch me. Like that person's gonna be feeling on me and touching on me and grabbing on me," and that is a misconception. So it is a big deal because we see him on wrestling every week. He's putting someone over. He's one of the good tag teams that people they have like a little saying, a quote, whatever that everyone says.
Yeah, millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars. Yeah. So we see them every single week, and we know what he can do in the ring. Now he comes out and says, he's openly gay, and I think it in a way it's good that he does it now, because now we already know what kind of worker he is, how is he in the ring, and
he's a decent competitor.
Yeah, and that shouldn't change anything about him now that that he's openly gay.
I don't think anybody should be any other talent should be paranoid about Darren Young putting his hands up, because he knows he's a professional.
Right.
Yeah,
he's a
of course.
businessman. If he wants to ask you out, I mean, he'll do it off,
Right. I mean, business is
He's
business.
not going to ask somebody. He's not going to want to hit on somebody that's not
And
the same.
Right. And
as him.
he's been with the same boyfriend for a while now. So, and there's actually photos of him and his boyfriend online, and and I think it's a good thing. But the problem is, as I agree with you, that there are people that are not going to be able to get over that. And as progressive as we would like to think our society is, there's still that prejudice. There's still that fear. and it's going to take some time, especially for some people, depending on your background and your upbringing. And I just hope that it doesn't affect his career negatively, and people don't want to go in the ring because of that.
Here's a possibility too, is this could actually improve his career, being that now there might be an opportunity. This is what they might turn around and like WWE, like executives might turn around and think of this as as a possibility of having the first openly gay WWE World Champion. If they, and different groups might turn around and try to pressure the WWE into giving him a push. And and it would be a good thing to see. It's just my concern is would he technically be ready to have a major title?
But you know what?
Is he championship material?
I don't think it should be an issue, and I definitely don't think it should be an angle that they use. Right? He's gay. Okay. He's a wrestler. Get on with his character. Get on with your action in the ring.
Yeah.
And I don't think profiting on it or capitalizing on it is the way to go.
I don't think it's the way to go either. I mean, I think if you're going to have a gay champion or whatever, I mean, do it because they're the one qualified to have the belt, not because.
Right.
I mean, it should not matter that he's gay. That's his own personal life. That's what he does when the cameras are not on him.
Right.
So if they want to give him that push, they should give him that push. But like they have this be a star campaign, so follow what you preach.
Right. Be a star, and be proud of who you are, and
Exactly.
and be a good person. And it doesn't matter, that you're gay or not. There's good people, there's bad people, and and it doesn't matter your identity. You can be a straight person and still be an a-hole.
Yeah.
True.
So I mean, it really isn't an issue. And in WWE, I mean, I mentioned online that Pat Patterson has been openly gay, and he's been involved with WWE going back to Vince Senior days.
So he's not the first one. He's
Right.
just the first one.
Patterson was never on camera saying that he was, but it's been no secret. And the head of talent relations, with the woman, what was her name?
Jane,
which you see on Total Divas, is a lesbian and has been married to her partner for several years. And she's the head of talent relations. So WWE obviously in their higher ranking positions have been progressive for quite some time.
Right.
So it's not a revelation for the workers, and I'm sure that Titus O'Neil knew going into his tag team partnership that's how Darren Young was. And of course it's up to everybody in their own time if they want to be open.
Yeah.
So
And I think it's very good that a lot of people like John Cena, Randy Orton, Stephanie McMahon, Triple H, a lot of these people have been coming out and been very supportive of Darren Young, and I hope that a lot of people will embrace it instead of now being afraid to get in a ring with him because they're gonna think that he's gonna fill on them. I mean, I think that's all maturity, and a lot of people need to grow up and understand that what you do behind closed doors is not how you act when you're at work, because that's what it is, work.
right. And I would think back to maybe 5-10 years ago when even though Magic Johnson wasn't gay, he came out and said he had HIV. And some of the basketball players were like, well, if he gets cut and he gets his blood on me, I'm going to get HIV. And that wasn't necessarily true. And you had that prejudice back then, and here was Irvin Magic Johnson was, the number one guy, prior to Jordan. And people had played with him for how many years, with him and against him on the court. And then all of a sudden he says, well, I have HIV. And then players didn't want to play with him. And it was a matter of their own ignorance.
Exactly.
And I hope that doesn't affect Darren Young, where people go in thinking that, I'm going to catch something, or he's going to try to be frisky with me, and
It's just people being here. He's probably he might face a little bit of that, but I'd like to think that the WWE, I mean, the locker rooms try to generally get along with each other, and they've known him for years now, so.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they know what kind of person he is.
Mm.
And as I said, it shouldn't matter who he dates.
No.
Yeah, that's right. But I'm glad he came out. I'm very proud of him, and I hope that he gets to succeed, and we get to see him many, many more years. And I hope that there's more people out there that watch him come out and watch that basketball player come out. What's his name, Jason?
Yeah.
Something like that. And I hope that they take it as you can do what you want to do, your dream career job, but you can also be yourself, and you don't have to hide behind closed doors or anything.
Exactly.
I'm proud to be who I am, so.
I like who I
Love
am.
me or hate me.
I love who I am.
Every night.
A lot of people don't love who I am.
We love you, Hollywood.
You know who I love?
You're
I
ours.
love this guy who I'm going to be working with
There you go.
next month.
Amen. When is
I'm
that
working
going
him
to be?
again. It's actually I'm bad with dates and I'm
Okay.
bad with names. I believe
I'm
it's the
bad with names.
21st. Oh, you're bad with names because you
He's real bad with his wife.
messed up my name so many times last time I was here.
She took me out to the woodshed and spanked me, but that's a story for another day.
But yeah, it's actually going to be in Fishkill, New York, and I'll be working with him again. The NWO will be there, which is Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall's son, Cody Hall, will be working the event too, which I'm looking forward to seeing because I've seen his videos on YouTube, and I want to see him live and see him wrestle.
Yeah. And Cody Hall has been down training. As we all know, Scott Hall's living with DDP, and he just moved out of DDP's house and to his own place down the street. So Cody Hall has been down working not only with his dad, but he's been working with
DDP as
DDP.
well.
And who else is living in that house at the moment?
Jake Roberts.
Jake the Snake Roberts. You got three guys that are, Hall of Fame, if not in the Hall of Fame, that will be in the Hall of Fame, training you.
Oh, yeah.
That's like getting free guitar lessons from Eddie Van Halen, for goodness sake.
Yeah, definitely. I
Every
definitely
guitar
want.
player love to have lessons from Eddie Van Halen
There you
for free.
So I hear great things. Steve Austin recently interviewed not only Scott Hall, but he also interviewed DDP. And DDP had some great things to say about this kid. And obviously Scott Hall is going to praise his own son, but I hear he's a big strapping guy. I haven't seen him yet, but I hear he's very big.
Yeah, he's 6'8" and he's
Wow.
about 250 pounds.
Wow.
So you can only imagine.
And working with DDP, that's muscle. It's not broad as clay.
No.
Yes, I've seen his body. Well, I've seen his matches. You could see him in his I don't
He's
know.
on YouTube.
Yeah, but you can see him in his little trunks.
Yeah.
And you can see he definitely has that WWE type of body. Because Vince McMahon, I think Vince McMahon will probably get this guy in no time because his body, his height, is perfect WWE qualifications. And if he keeps up the good work on the ring, then we'll see
He'll
him.
be the next Paul Heyman guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
There you go. There's somebody for Bray Wyatt to fight.
Yeah.
Nice big guy.
There's somebody for Curtis Axel to team with since I think Kurt Hennig and Scott Hall actually teamed with each other at one point.
I know they worked together. I'm not sure if they were a team, but I know that we're in WCW at the same time.
I think I'm on AWA even.
Yeah.
Going back
Going way back.
pre-WWF.
Yeah.
I've also seen Ric Flair's daughter. Have you seen her? She's been training.
Yes. Yeah.
See that?
She's out in NXT. And she actually did one or two times. She came out with Fandango.
Really?
Yeah. Before they really let on who she was. But now she's training down at NXT. So you're going to see her climb up to the main roster probably early next year.
Probably.
That would be nice to see.
Or you'll probably see her on Total Divas.
Yeah. Wonder what her gimmick is going to be.
I don't know. She's going to have a man because every other Diva on there's got a boyfriend and
Yeah.
getting in on the action.
Mhm.
So
I wonder if she's gonna finish her match with a figure four just like her dad did. I wonder if you'll see the 4 horsewomen now.
well,
Being a little too presumptive, am I?
there
guess.
we are. So where can we catch you if we want to be fans? I know you had an event the other night outside of wrestling.
I did, because I I do my wrestling stuff, but I also like to do my own stuff, because I do have my own following.
Yep.
And I had a very good turnout, so they asked for me back on the 21st, I believe. Yeah, so I will be back at that same place if you want to see me perform, dance,
You can
whatever.
say where it is.
It's called Partners Cafe in downtown New Haven.
Okay.
Yes. I don't have a calendar in front of me right now, but it's in September 21st, I think, somewhere around there.
All right. You'll nail that down and get it back to us. so
Next
we
time,
can,
yeah,
definitely.
because I'm bad.
Well, where can we catch you online? Because you said you got over 5,000 followers. Let's make it
I have-
5,010.
Yeah, you can see, if you can't find my pages or whatever, Google me, Aubrey St. John. But I have Yahoo. I have Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And I'm also on Centering.
This
See,
is
I'm like,
this
I
is
don't
the
even- I can't even
co-host of
speak
our
today.
sister show,
Yep.
Center
Yeah,
Ring.
I'm on Centering every Thursday night with the
Right.
Fog Man.
With
How is the
fog.
Fog Man doing? I have not talked to
Good.
him.
We were actually at the NEFW show this Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah.
I gotta run up there again.
Definitely. They have a show coming up soon with Shelly Martinez.
One word for you, Jay. GPS.
Because it's security. It's not GPS, it's security. It's gonna keep those aces and eights out.
We should have a reality show. Will Jay ever find Chicopee, Mass?
It's really not that. I
In
mean,
search
it's dark,
of-
but it's not that hard to get to. It's
I
just
know
like
you're
a
s-
straight line.
I know you're a Star Trek fan. You know, when Nimoy did In Search Of, we can do In Search Of Chicopee with Jay.
Yeah.
Hollywood Jay.
I can just hop on a transporter pad. But even in 150 years, they're a little leery of getting on those things.
Yeah, you know what happened to General Scroob when he went on the transporter, the beaming.
No.
Oh, he got his ass on backwards.
Really?
Yeah. Why didn't anybody tell me it was so big? What's with this beaming?
Yeah.
Spaceballs.
Spaceballs.
Oh yeah. Anyhow.
Anyhow, yeah, we're getting ready to wrap things up here, though.
Yep.
But next week, we have anybody lined up for guest-wise?
I believe we're gonna have Aubrey back on.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back, but I'm gonna bring someone with me. So you guys gonna have to find out who I'm bringing.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Special surprise
Yeah.
guest. We'll tell you next week. So
You'll
just
see next
tune
week.
in. We'll
Tune
see you
in next week.
I'm
Same
Hollywood
bat
J.
time.
Williams. Good night and good luck.
Bye.